Hey everybody, it's time to go one more round, brought to you by Corey's Fight Club. And today I want to talk about something a little different. I spend a lot of time giving you guys tips and tricks and marketing advice in order to create attention or attract a deal. Today we're going to take it a step further, and I'm going to give you some things to think about when you've already checked that box and you're trying to close the deal. You're in that negotiation. You're trading emails, or you're on the phone, or you're in the in-person meeting, and you're trying to get that person to sign on the line which is dotted, as they say. So I want to give you 4 tips as it relates to negotiation, and they all really have to do with one big thing. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Number 1, don't be afraid of uncomfortable silences. A lot of times, if you're in a nervous or tense situation, especially when you were talking about money exchanging hands, and you happen to say, well, for my proposal, it's going to be $2,000, and you immediately want to justify the value of that $2,000. What I suggest you do is just tell the price and then pause. Wait. Don't be afraid of that uncomfortable silence. This is where human nature kicks in. Let the person on the other end of the phone dictate where the call or the conversation goes. If you're on the phone, you're going to hear tone of voice. You're going to tell by how quickly they respond. If you're in person, you're going to see body language. You're going to be able to tell if the deal you're offering is something that they want to do. And if it's something they don't want to do and they want to give a counter proposal, let them do that. Because oftentimes, if you keep talking, you're going to sell yourself out of the close right there. So don't be afraid of uncomfortable silence. Number 2, don't be afraid to take something off the table. When you're putting a proposal together, not that you should add anything that's fat or gravy to your service. I mean, be true to your service. Don't try to bait and switch anybody. But have something in there that you could still complete the project just fine if it wasn't in there. It's like a really cool option that you could take off and still do just fine on the project, because that could be something that if your price is A and their price is A minus X, you could say, well, I'll give you A minus X, but I have to take B off the table. So don't be afraid to take something off the table. Number 3, don't be afraid to walk away. Sometimes walking away is not saying no. You could say things like, let me think about what we talked about, I'll get back to you tomorrow. Or let me run it by my coworker or my boss or my partner. Don't be afraid to walk away. Sometimes that actually increases the chance of you making a sale. True story, went to go buy some furniture a few years ago. Wanted to buy a dresser. The dresser at the store was out of stock. All they had was the floor model. I said, can you sell us the floor model for X? They offered a different price. And I told my wife, I said, listen, let's just walk outside. We're going to tell them, hey, well, maybe we'll come back. We're going to try elsewhere. And when we walked outside of the store, I kept my back to the front door. And I said to my wife, I said, just wait a second. Pick up your cell phone like you're making a call or something. And she, put the phone up to her ear and she kind of pretended like she was making a call. And sure enough, she's looking at me and she's whispering, here she comes, here she comes. And the salesperson followed me outside of the store. And because I left, because that person didn't want to lose the sale, because they wanted to close the deal, and because I walked away, she offered it to me at the price that I proposed. So the lesson learned is don't be afraid to walk away. And last but not least, don't be afraid to lose the deal. Of course, I want you guys getting new customers, having a huge book of business, making all sorts of money. But sometimes the best business is the business not taken. If their price, if they're really squeezing you, chances are that person squeezing you is going to be a high maintenance account. And if they're going to be a high maintenance account for a low amount of money, that might not be something you want to get involved in. So don't be afraid to lose the deal. So there you go. There's 4 tips on how to not be afraid when you're negotiating. Okay? Go get it.